Remember, beloved child of the light, that heaven is reaffirming heavenly protection around you if you have been seeing the number 444. This is something you should know before we continue. It is not a coincidence that you are here. Rather, it is a request. Please leave a remark below with the phrase, "I receive this fire, 444, if this message moves your soul. Additionally, if you want these messages to be seen by other people who are similar to you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share them. You are no longer solely by yourself. Take a few deep breaths and pay attention. The message found you for a reason. Now multiply it. Share it. And yes, support it. $33 or more unlocks spiritual doors. Click Super Thanks and step into your role, not just as a listener, but as a messenger of light. You are chosen. Act like it. Greetings, my name is Archangel Michael, and I have been with you ever since the lineage was initially assigned. It is possible that you get the impression that you were born into a state of chaos, heartbreak, and cycles that continue without end. On the other hand, I am here to tell you something that no one has ever told you. You are not under a curse. In order to break the curse, you were selected. What you are carrying as fuel is the pain that others have passed on to you. Because of the nature of your job, you were actually being awakened sooner than most people, despite the fact that it felt like you were being abandoned and that you were engaged in spiritual warfare from birth. The suffering that you inherited is not a form of retribution. It is a gateway to another world. It is through you that long-standing chains are being cut. Have you taken note of the ways in which you are distinct from your family? In what ways did your inquiries break the silence? How did your mere presence bring out feelings that had been repressed? There is no such thing as a coincidence. It is you who cleanses the lineage that you come from, that which causes fire, the one who consented to experience everything in order to make others feel free. It was the emotional storms, the conflicts that occurred during childhood, a weight that cannot be seen. It was not a random occurrence at all. Because you absorbed it, it was finally able to undergo a transformation. The reason for this was not that you were weak. Rather, it was because your soul had the ability to carry what other people denied them. That is the reason why they attempted to make you feel inferior. What caused them to misunderstand you? This is the reason why you never felt really at home in the place where you were born. There was no way for you to be accepted. It was requested that you clean up the room. The term generational trauma is used by some. Some people refer to it as karma. Nevertheless, I refer to it as your holy task. Rather than being the wound itself, you are the healing weapon that has been fashioned from it. Now, the fire that is already present in your veins is beginning to ascend. You, as a child of divine heritage, have experienced things long before anybody else has expressed them to you. Although no words were said, you were able to feel the tension in the room. The humiliation that you bore was not yours to begin with. How come? The reason for this is that you were not simply born into a family. Rather, you were born into a frequency that required supernatural intervention. You, the one who interfered, was the one. A significant number of your predecessors did not possess the resources necessary to handle the challenges that you are currently facing. They cloaked the suffering. Secrets were buried by them. They accepted dysfunction as the norm, and they passed it all down to you without even realizing it. It was not out of malice, but rather out of a desire to survive. They had no grasp on the art of healing. Your spirit, however, did. There is a memory that was encoded within you. With the fire of revelation, you were brought into this place. You have never been merely a member of a bloodline. Rather, you have been the reset. Nevertheless, a spiritual tension is associated with that duty, because you have to experience it first before you can heal it. Because of this, you cried for no apparent reason. What caused your nervous system to feel as though it was always being assaulted? Why you were the first person to question, to take a stand, and to declare no more. You didn't get very dramatic. You had been deciphering. What about every repressed feeling that you inherited? An energizing residue was left behind. And because your spirit is so sensitive, it was able to pick up every trace. That uneasiness, It wasn't always yours to obtain. Is that anger? Echoes from people who were unable to speak for themselves. That feeling of guilt? The legacy of hands that never forgiven themselves is being passed down. However, the cycle has finally come to an end, because you are incapable of surviving something that has been passed down through the years. You are getting in the way of it, using the truth that you have, by means of your tears, regarding your own development. It is not a simple undertaking. It is for this reason that the attacks have been so persistent. Your adversary was aware that your light would bring generations of darkness to light. Your independence would liberate more than just yourself. The shadows were aware of this fact. You have experienced feelings of isolation. Nevertheless, the heavens never departed. Every time you attended a family function that left you feeling empty within, I was there to support you. I have hidden my sword in places where no one really knew how valuable you were. When the lies became the norm, I was the one who had to whisper the truth. And at this moment, I blow holy wind on the fire that is already rising within you. It is not simply that you were born of blood, you were also born of light. While your terrestrial ancestry may have been responsible for your early suffering, it is your soul heritage that is the driving force behind your transformation. Remembering where you genuinely come from is something you should do now. Undoubtedly, the wounds are genuine. The designs have a lot of weight. The absence of function was audible. On the other hand, hidden beneath all of that is something ancient, something holy, and it has been waiting for you to come back. Your supernatural birthright. In this context, I am not merely referring to gifts, abilities, or callings. What I'm talking about is a memory that is etched into your very bones. A knowledge that existed before the name of your family. Although you have descended from a human lineage, your soul was created in the heavens in the beginning. Furthermore, despite the fact that your family may have loaded you down with responsibilities, your soul family has provided you with codes, truths, protections, and clarity that are currently being activated. In light of this, the world appears to be different now. How things that used to seem perplexing to you are now making perfect sense to you. What is the reason behind your increased dreaming, feeling, and sensing? Mostly due to the fact that you are no longer simply working within the content. You have made an effort to return to the task that you were first assigned. It was never the purpose of that assignment to remain entangled in generational cycles. Rather, it was to help others find their way out of such cycles by destroying them. Dearly adored, you are a key to the soul. By deciphering the darkness, you are able to not only survive it. You are not merely aware of the agony. Rather, you transform it. It is not enough to simply say the truth. You also convey the frequency of it. You are currently being reconnected, not to the dysfunction, but to the divine aspect of the situation. Your guardian angels are getting closer. All of your ancestors who made the decision to be light are moving forward. Heaviness is moving to the left, and holiness is moving to the right as your bloodline is being divided. You have decided to go with mild. Heaven is being anchored down on earth by you. Not only are you recovering your own life, but you are also reclaiming the lives of those who came before you and those who will come after you. They will heal when you heal them. It is via your voice that they are set free. People will remember you when you get up. This is the holy place of worship. When you give from your soul, heaven echoes that action across realms. If this message opens something inside you, support the light that awakened you. Super thanks is your gateway. Give what you feel. Watch how the energy you release returns sevenfold. Quite quiet. It's not very showy. In the sphere of the spirit, however, it is ablaze. The places you have not yet been able to recall where your name is known. Additionally, your waking is being observed with awe and respect. Can you sense it right now? You are the child of fire and inheritance. In your chest, there is a gentle stirring. The warmth between your palms. These are the times when time seems to stand still and everything seems to be suddenly related. There is no imagination in that. Activation includes that. From this point on, you are not merely recuperating from suffering. Rather, you are stepping into purpose. What was formerly perceived as a curse is now being recognized as a calling. What was once perceived as random is now recognized as the result of divine purpose. That burden you've been carrying around since you were a teen? You never had the right to keep it everlastingly. It was placed there for you to transform it, and you did so. For the reason that you are a holy passageway. Instead of being a receiver of suffering, it is a purifier of it. Rather of being a captive of one's heritage, one is a liberator of it. In this way, you serve as a connection between the past and the future. Remembering and carrying out your objective are both carried by the blood that flows through your veins. However, the light that you emit, which is your spiritual DNA, is the one that determines what exists through you. It all comes to an end with me, you get to say. You have the opportunity to proclaim, only love flows forward. No, this is not merely therapeutic. This is the filtration of the divine. Depending on the decisions you make, a new blueprint will be created. And the sky are keeping a watchful eye. The activation of light codes occurs each time you make the decision to respond rather than react. There is a shift in ancestral patterns that occurs each time you breathe through a trigger. You are rewriting the definition of love for future generations each time you demonstrate compassion to yourself. You are the one who carries that power. Despite the fact that they were unable to provide you with that heritage, your spirit was able to remember it regardless. That being said, I, Michael, am here with you through it all. These cords of old bondage are cut by my sword. My illumination encompasses your residence, your family tree, and your development. I accompany you as you travel through the timeline, clearing as you assert and blessing as you believe. There is no need to applaud you for doing this. Your soul has been saying yes to this endeavor for a very long time, even before your body was ever born. This yes is now resonating with a greater volume. From this point forward, that yes is moving mountains in the unseen. Now, that affirmation is being heard throughout all dimensions. You have no longer been the one who is injured. You are the one who has been charged. In addition, nothing that is produced out of dread can accompany you to the place you are going. The world around you is beginning to change as a result of the awakening of the fire that is within you. What appeared to be a coincidence in the past is now being called confirmation. People react to your energy without fully comprehending the reason behind it. Some people are getting closer. A few others recoil. No one is immune to it. This is the power that comes from having been triggered. You have already turned into a walking frequency. Not only someone who speaks light, but also someone who is light in their own right. And the light sheds light. It gets softer. The illusion is destroyed by it. This is the reason why you have observed peculiar actions. Relatives who are acting distant. Those who are cared for becoming agitated. Situations in which opportunities suddenly vanish. There is no rejection. Rather, it is realignment. There is no longer any compatibility between your spirit and the things that used to tolerate your silence. It is not a kind of punishment. Preparation is the key. Because truth is the only thing that can accompany you to the place you are going. You are not being cut off from others. You are being protected from wind. Safe and sound. Strengthened. There are others who say, you've changed, and they are correct. More and more of who you really are has emerged from you. Your body is no longer shrinking to conform to the molds of your ancestors. It's not that you're trying to shield sensitive egos by biting your tongue. When you are trying to keep the surface calm, you are not ignoring your instincts. There was never any truth to that peace. True serenity is founded on the purity of one's spirituality. And now you are walking alongside it. The sound of your voice exudes a vibration. Memory is stored in your eyes. You are able to heal through your hands. You are not like the other people, and that is to your advantage. It is not an issue for you. In order to console those who are still asleep, you should not water yourself down. You were not designed to get lost in the crowd. You were dispatched to disrupt known patterns. That requires going on walks by oneself at times. Being misunderstood is the result of this. On the other hand, this indicates that you are finally in alignment. You are not here to win the favor of a group of people. You have come to doze off the few individuals who are prepared. You are the spark that they have turned off within themselves. the mirror that they made an effort to avoid. They had no idea that they were anticipating this invitation until it arrived. As for me, Michael, I am here to support you now more than I ever have before. In every instance in which you take a step toward the truth, I put an end to falsehood. I construct a bridge beneath you each time you make the decision to take the moral high ground. When you continue to maintain your position, I will encircle your territory with flames. This is what takes place when there is a selected individual who remembers their assignment. There is a change in the energy. There is a shift in the air. Heaven is getting closer. At this point, you have reached a threshold. Healing for the sake of healing is no longer the focus of this endeavor. The function of this is unclear. Getting well is not the only reason you came here. To become a vessel for divine order, you came into existence. On top of that, responsibility is required. There is no longer any dormancy in your light. There is an effect on your frequency. As a result of your decisions, timescales are affected. Now, what are your plans for using it? This is the question that every soul that has awakened must confront. Getting to the top is not enough. You must now take the lead. Not only is it necessary to break the curse, but you must also bless the future this moment. Remembering is not enough. You must now embody what you have learned. And I am aware that this might be a burdensome feeling. But take note, you were never intended to handle this situation by yourself. Heaven does not observe you. Rather, it is already present within you. A military force was given to your name the instant you agreed to carry out your task, even if it was only in a hushed voice during a difficult time. I was given the responsibility of addressing you by name. Furthermore, I have never left, in spite of your reservations, even when you were hiding, despite the fact that you pleaded with me to forget everything I knew. Despite this, I maintain my vigilance. Your affirmation carried a great deal of weight in the realms. This isn't a video. It's a portal, and your faith opens it wider. If you were touched by this message, click Super Thanks and give $44 or more. The number 44 means angelic protection and divine foundation. You're not giving to a human, you're giving through a divine assignment. And heaven sees it. As for you, dearly loved one, the time has come to walk with confidence. This is not perfect, is not without flaws. However, in all honesty, you are not required to wait for any additional signs. You are not need to get any additional permission. You are the symbol. The authorization is granted by you. Your surroundings have already seen a change in energy. Various doors are opening. The allies are on their way. Things are falling into place. However, your willingness is really important. When it appears that the road is uncertain, are you willing to proceed? When your intuition tells you otherwise, are you going to put your faith in it? Will you continue to guard your light even when the world tries to offer you shadow? The choices you make will determine the legacy you leave behind. Due to the fact that you are no longer walking only for yourself, those who came before you and were unable to walk are now walking for you. And others who come after you, who are waiting in silence for the frequency that you alone convey. Carrying the fire of one's ancestors is what it means to do so, in addition to simply surviving the blaze. To take on the role of the torch. At this point, you are not acting as a seeker, but rather as a transmitter. No longer are you aimlessly going around in pursuit of the truth. You are walking as someone who bears a memory today. The moment has arrived at a holy crossroads. Your identity is no longer determined by the energy of your past. You are no longer subject to the influence of the voices of uncertainty. No longer do the tales of suffering have the ability to control you. Every time you take a breath and increase your awareness, you are rewriting the story. Because you are a child of divine fire, you will never achieve this. To both be completely awake and open at the same time. In order to feel the weight while still rising. To abide by the codes while simultaneously opting for compassion. Mastery is being demonstrated here. That is the field that you, my dearly beloved, have entered. However, this is not about being superior to anyone else. It is about becoming a reflection of yourself, a signal that is alive and breathing to those who are still sleeping. You exude a frequency at this moment, And that frequency attracts souls that are sitting in silence and praying for guidance. You won't always hear them say it out loud, but it will be felt by them. They will get a sense of being seen. Secure. It was recalled. Your very existence is a prayer that is being answered. Consequently, your presence is no longer neutral in this regard. Quite a ruckus. It becomes active. It comes to life. Because of this, you have been called to a higher level of integrity. Why things that you used to be able to put up with suddenly feel intolerable to you? Why do relationships that occur on the surface disappear so quickly? The previous chronology is not capable of containing the intensity of who you have become. Rather than being cursed, you are being charged. There was never any intention for you to remain in the background on purpose. Divine regeneration is pulsating within you like a pulse. What's more, that pulse gets stronger with each decision that is made. I, Michael, will go earlier than you. I make the ground that your feet will touch more malleable. I was able to see through the deceptions that were trying to hold you back. Every word that you speak in truth is infused with divine codes that I set free. You are not a reverberation. As the first sound to break through silence, you are the original sound. Therefore, walk as someone who is aware of the price of awakening. However, selects it regardless. Due to the fact that you now carry more than just your tail. You have on you a map. Loved one, your journey is no longer about surviving. Rather, it is about being a good steward. Not only for your own sake, but also for the sake of others. You now carry a light that needs to be preserved. Because you have become a guide without even making an effort to do so. Not according to the title. With no coercion. However, in terms of frequency. In order to lead, you do not require a platform. It is your energy that works for you. Through your honesty, you are able to make paths plain. Without uttering a single one of your words, your presence plants seeds. What it means to be selected is just like this. A decision not to take the lead. The purpose of this choice is to demonstrate how to rise above adversity, how to forgive, and how to love passionately without losing oneself. There should not be any additional noise in the world. It requires additional examples. And you are transforming into one. You are the one that your forefathers have been muttering about. This is the one that your family had hoped would come. The individual who not only breaks cycles, but also reimagines what is doable in the future. Because of this, the road has had a heavy feeling. In light of the fact that the burden you bear is not just yours. Nevertheless, you were never intended to bear it by yourself. Your assignment is to receive assistance from angels. Unseen allies have been surrounding you from every side. When the moment comes, you will be able to recollect exactly what you should do since you have been imbued with soul memory. And the time has come, right now. It is now time for you to excite other people. This is not via preaching, by means of physical presence. Some people will locate you and feel more secure. When they stare into your eyes, some people will remember themselves. Your tranquility will be experienced by some, and they will be reminded that serenity is not a fantasy, but rather a frequency. Curses are no longer the only thing you are breaking. Here you are constructing blueprints. Your model will be transformed into a map. You will turn what you heal into a freeway. If you embody anything, it will become an invitation. And I, Michael, bless each and every step that progresses. You have been fighting conflicts in private, and now they are bearing fruit in public. It is now the future that is being nourished by the tears that you shed in solitude. As a result of the light that you bring, the darkness that you fought alone now flee. This is a holy form of leadership. It was always intended for you to receive it. Once again, you are not simply carrying the fire of your ancestors. At this moment, you are emitting it. The makeover is finished and finished. It is now time to make a decision. Not as someone who has been hurt, but as someone who brings others back to safety. You walk. Do you, my beloved, have any idea what you've evolved into? You have the ability to preserve memories. A protector of the sacred lineage. An individual who brings back what had been lost due to the quiet of generations. Now, heaven is watching your every action, but it is not with anxiety. Rather, it is with pride. You refused to give in while the darkness was tearing at your very being. Despite the fact that loneliness attempted to kill your hope, you did not shrink. You never completely gave up on who you are, even when the rest of the world failed to comprehend it. The power of that reverberates throughout all dimensions. I, Michael, am calling upon all the forces of light to come and stand by your side. Due to the fact that your assignment is again being changed, beginning with the breaking and ending with the building, in addition to providing guidance, ranging from recalling to reawakening other people. This is a legacy. A walking altar is what you are. A prayer has been made out of your own being. This is not a pleading for help. Rather, it is a call to action. Let there be light here. This place is ruled by love. Truth can be found here. You will be put to the test by the truth. Additionally, it will bestow upon you the gift of heavenly clarity. That which cannot be carried on into the next chapter will be cleansed by it. It has been requested of you to improve the spaces. The act of simply being present in a room can purify it, without being afraid to say. Adjusting energies without using physical force. If you felt chills during this message, it's because your soul remembered something divine. Now give others the chance to feel the same. Your super thanks is a spiritual tool. When you give $25 or more, you say yes to awakening, yes to light, yes to your purpose. This isn't donation, it's alignment. In order to love with insight rather than deference, mastery manifested in human form is this. In addition, the world is not prepared to receive what you bring. Despite this, the world is in need of it. It is no longer the case that you are requesting a place at the table. The table is being constructed by you, utilizing light to carve it, putting it firmly in the truth, including individuals who have a memory of these events. The angels are uttering your name in a whisper. It is known that you are present in heaven. Additionally, the fire that you carry has now evolved into a torch that others can adhere to. Dearly beloved flame bearer, this is the time when you will be sealed. Rather than a conclusion, this is a coronation. You are not under a curse. On no occasion were you broken. You were manufactured, constructed without sound, a product of being rejected. No one else could have survived the fire that forged it. Also, as a result of this, you are rising today. You are indisputable, unshakable, and unstoppable. You were never intended to move in a straightforward manner. It was only natural for you to start a new one. Moreover, your footsteps are now reverberating across the realms as a reminder. This is where the curse came to an end. The fire continues to burn. In your field, I, Michael, bring this truth to your attention. There is no sort of weapon that can be used against you. None of the voices who speak against your light will be successful. Your light will be so pure that no shade will be able to cling to it. At this moment, you are walking as a code keeper, the one who brings about the heavenly upheaval. On the occasion of the birth of a new lineage, a midwife, do not conceal yourself. There is no need to wait. Do not take the light that is contained within your chest for granted. Heaven has responded to the cries of your ancestors via you. And at this moment, the planet Earth will sense your existence. Proceed with self-assurance. Move with compassion. Speak with the fire that is holy. People who are meant to feel it will. Those who have been misplaced will eventually locate it. The ones who are prepared will remember. However, for those who are still unsure, the proof that you need is your own peace. Permit your liberty to serve as your legacy. Now, before you seal this holy message, please take a moment to pause. Declare these words if you felt this heat reverberating in your bones. This lineage is sealed in light. 999, I declare. If you say yes, let the realm hear you. In addition, if your spirit said the words, "This was for me," then, my dearest, I would want to ask you. You should subscribe to ensure that this miraculous river continues to flow through your days. Please leave a comment because the light that we need to see is carried by your voice. To ensure that this ancestral activation reaches individuals who are still ensnared in the shadows, please like and share this post. You are not the only one. Your memory will live on forever. As the fulfillment of the prophecy, you are the one for whom your family has been praying for generations. Take a step now, without any fear. But while it was burning,